Lamar Jackson is ruled out versus the Chicago Bears in their Sunday 1 p.m. matchup. This and so much more on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Yes. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you might be listening to this. This is your host, Sutton Def, from the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. And you're listening to Quiet Storm Sports. Guys, I know, listen, and I'm live right now, by the way. So if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, shout out to you. But there's going to be some feelings that come out on this episode of the show. Just to let you know, go ahead and like the video now. Subscribe to the channel now if you're new. Would appreciate that here at PRP. But holy shit. Lamar Jackson will not play versus the Chicago Bears. This is breaking news as of maybe 30 minutes ago, per Adam Schefter, per Ian Rappaport, all the bigwigs, right? And all week, and even in me and Alex's preview episode, we were talking about this Bears game as if it was 100% certain that Lamar Jackson was going to play. Now, why would me and Alex make an assumption like that? Because quite literally, everything that we heard and saw during this week leading up to today, as we're 24 hours out from the game, everything we saw led to Lamar Jackson playing. He went from a limited participant in practice earlier this week to a full participant in practice yesterday, only to find out that today, Saturday, they changed his status from full practice to limited practice 24 hours after practice is over. Strange stuff, man. Just super weird stuff. I mean, we quite literally went from a couple of weeks ago, John Harbaugh, Ravens head coach, telling the media that, hey, look, Lamar Jackson is trying to play against the Texans, right? And then going into the bye, you had John Harbaugh saying to the media, yeah, we're going to be getting our quarterback back, coming out of the bye, only to find out that Lamar Jackson will not be playing. Only to find out. Don Royal in the chat, what's going on, Don? Says Harbaugh and Bisciotti scammed the fans. They wanted y'all to buy tickets. That's sure as hell what the fuck it feels like right now, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you string the fans along all damn week, trot Lamar out there to practice, right? Have the beat writers report that he's practicing, he's not limping, he looks good, he's getting more and more reps each day, things like that. It wasn't until this morning that we found out that, he was taking reps with the scout team, right? So it looks like he's probably not going to play. And then an hour later, it's reported that, yeah, he's been downgraded to out. They wanted y'all to buy tickets. And me personally, I apologize to all the fans out there who watch this show. Because earlier this week, I'm on record saying, hey, look, guys, go buy tickets. Show up to this game. We need to see what this post-bye week Ravens product is looking like on the field. I said that. So I'm sorry. Kind of like on behalf of the Ravens, because the Ravens led us to believe all week that Lamar Jackson will be starting tomorrow at quarterback. Instead, it will be Tyler Huntley. Now, I'm also on record saying this. If there is a backup quarterback that I would prefer to see, it's going to be Tyler Huntley over Cooper Rush all damn day. I've been saying that since before Cooper Rush even took his first start. Man, this is very, 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 I can't even say concerning. I can't even say disappointing. It feels like betrayal as a Ravens fan. It feels like betrayal. And I'll tell you what. If the Ravens go out there tomorrow, and I don't know when you guys might be listening to this, but Today is Saturday. Tomorrow's the Ravens game. They play at 1 p.m. CBS and Paramount. If the Ravens come out tomorrow and they look flat, like I'm talking like still can't put up 10 points, I'm sorry, but a change needs to be made immediately. Because guess what? If the Ravens lose tomorrow, season is officially over. Thank you, Ravens flock. Thank you, Ravens flock. We'll see y'all next season. You can wrap this shit up if the Ravens lose tomorrow against the Chicago Bears, who have an absolutely just depleted secondary, decimated secondary with injuries, right? No Kyler Gordon, no Tyreek Stevenson, who's their best corner. But they just caught a huge break. They just caught an absolutely humongous break. It's insane. Over 100 people watching live right now. Shout out to y'all. I know y'all are upset. Get your feelings out in the chat, whether you're watching on X, whether you're watching on YouTube. Let me know how you're feeling about this one. And if you're watching on X and you can't comment, come over to YouTube. You guys see the link, not the link, but the name of the channel in the bottom right. Purple Rain Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Kick, all that. Come over to YouTube. Get your feelings off. But yeah, guys, it's Eli Sports Guy says in the chat, I told y'all Lamar wasn't playing this week. I get it from the perspective of, like, you know, you want to nurse this hamstring injury. The Ravens have 2 games in 4 days. I get all of that. I get all those things. But what was the strategic purpose? If you're this Ravens coaching staff or front office or whoever has, you know, jurisdiction over these type of matters, what was the thought process and the reasoning and the strategic advantage of making Ravens fans and the Chicago Bears think all week that Lamar Jackson was going to come back and play? I mean, did you want them to prepare for a much tougher task only to find out 24 hours before the game? If you're the Bears, only to find out 24 hours before the game that, hey, look, star player is not playing. It actually just went from a calculus test to a 6th grade algebra test. If that was your strategic purpose, Ravens, then I don't understand. I don't understand that. You just gave the Bears so much more confidence, so much more solace mentally. Like, hey, look, we don't have to go up against that monster number 8 tomorrow. You know, all week long, the Ravens media, the Ravens, you know, coaching staff, they made it seem like that guy was coming back, but he's not. 24 hours before the game. And adversely, think about what that does for the Ravens roster. This is why I say they're going to come out flat tomorrow. I can almost guarantee it. I've been watching this team for too damn long. And I know what's been going on this season, just like you guys do. This is deflating news, not only to Ravens fans, but to the Ravens roster. Guys, they're going out there tomorrow for the 3rd straight time without their leader, Lamar Jackson. You guys heard how the vibes were so high all week in practice because Lamar Jackson was back. People were going up to him, giving him hugs. Todd Monkin was giving him hugs and whatnot. The mood just seemed a lot lighter that Lamar was seemingly back and going to play this week against the Bears. And again, man, it really sucks because all this does is give the Bears a lot more confidence and strips away a lot more confidence from the Ravens for this news to be dropping 24 hours before game time, before kickoff. It's unacceptable. Now, I know a lot of people, and there's a lot of speculation, like, okay, Harbaugh was saying that, you know, he's probably gonna have the quarterback back and things like that. A lot of people are saying that this came down to a Lamar Jackson decision. Hey, Lamar, are you good to go Sunday against the Bears? Yes or no? Right? That's what it basically looked like it came down to. Or that's what people are saying. And if Lamar Jackson said, hey, look, like, I'm still not 100%. I want to sit out and I'll come back in my home state against the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football in front of the entire world, you know, nationally televised game, Amazon Prime. I'll come back then. But I want to see, while I'm still 70, 80%, right? I want to see what this Ravens team does out of the bye. And again, this is Lamar Jackson talking. I want to see what this Ravens team does without me coming out of the bye, right? Getting back 90% of the rest of the team, right? You still got Patrick Ricard coming back. You know, Marlon Humphrey's still good to go. Roquan is coming back. Stanley, who missed practice on Friday, I think it was more so for a rest thing. He'll probably end up playing as well. Who knows how long in that game he'll play. But the fact of the matter is the Ravens are generally healthy, right? Of course, there's still the Matabike loss, which is still a huge thing. But we're not getting him back, possibly ever. But I think that this puts a whole lot more pressure on John Harbaugh. Because what are the excuses? Somebody look up the Ravens record after a bye. I'm pretty sure it's very good. John Harbaugh's record after a bye, rather. I'm pretty sure it's pretty damn good. So it's like, yeah, Harbaugh, you're coming out of the bye. Your team's 1-5. You got to have this one. You're at home. You're mainly healthy. You're missing your starting quarterback, of course. But what are you going to do, Harbaugh, to raise this team's floor and give them a chance to win against the Chicago Bears, who are on a 4-game win streak? But there's a reason why the Ravens were favored by -7.5. They were favored by a touchdown to win this game. As of right now, I believe they're only favored to win by 3, which is the fact that they're still even favored to win. And it's got to just be the home field advantage. But the fact that they're even favored to win is insane to me. It's nuts. If I'm a gambling man, if I'm a betting man, I am throwing the house, the mortgage, the rent money, the car note money. I'm throwing all of that. I'm throwing this super chat donation by Wandering Raven TV. Appreciate you so much for making it rain here. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm throwing all of that on the line for Bears money line, man. I am. But Wandering Raven TV dropping the 20 piece in the chat. What's going on, Wandering Raven? Appreciate you so much. Making it rain here on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Wandering Raven says, I believe these hit pieces on Todd Monkin are prepping us for his firing if they lose to the Bears. He is the scapegoat. And yeah, I do want to get into that as well. Because look, guys, when I woke up this morning and I saw another hit piece on Todd Monkin, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I did. Because for the life of me, I cannot understand how news just continues to just drop from anonymous Ravens, apparently, that everybody in that locker room, or a lot of guys, rather, at least, are frustrated with Todd Monkin, out of all people. Now, look, I'm just as frustrated with like the low red zone calls and things like that, and getting stuffed on the goal line multiple times this season. I'm just as pissed off as many other Ravens fans are about that. Trust me, I am. Believe me. But we've seen what should have been 2 straight MVP seasons for Lamar Jackson, and a complete 180 in his passing numbers since Todd Monkin has been here. I think personally, Todd Monkin is second guessing himself. Like he said before, he's second guessing himself because he feels like his offense has to be the offense and the defense. If you get what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know in the chat. Make sure you like the video as well. But when you have a defense who can't stop a nosebleed, right? As an offensive coordinator, I would assume it puts a lot more pressure on you mentally. Like, hey, look, what can I do to make sure that this Ravens team puts up points on every single drive? And when you get to that point, sometimes you start to second guess yourself. We got more super chat donations, but you guys get my point here. You guys get my point. I appreciate the super chat donations. This next one's coming from Eli, the sports guy. What's going on, Eli? Appreciate you for coming through. Eli says Lamar is not 100%, and there's no point of him playing the rest of the season if we lose tomorrow. Fire Harbaugh. They hyped fans for ticket sales. I definitely agree with that last sentence right there. I definitely agree with that last sentence. Yeah, he's not 100%. At this point in the NFL season, nobody's 100% out there. Everybody's playing hurt. That's just the reality of the game of football, right? Halfway through the season, everyone is playing hurt. So I don't think that Lamar Jackson will really ever get back to 100%. But I do also agree with you in that there's no point in playing him the rest of the season if you lose tomorrow. Starting a season 1-6, I don't know if any team has ever made the playoffs after starting 1-6. We already know it's only 4 teams that have made the playoffs after starting 1-5. So I can only imagine what that stat looks like for 1-6. And again, I don't care how weak the schedule is. I don't care if you've got the Dolphins, the Jets, the Vikings, and all these other supposedly bad teams on your record, or not on your record, but on your schedule. If you start 1-6, I mean, look, you can win out. You can win out and still potentially miss the playoffs. If you start out 1-6, you really have to start looking for help around the league. Is that spooky? Is that spooky? But I agree with you, Eli. I appreciate your super chat donation. Let me get to the next one here. Got another super chat donation. This one's coming from Kwame B. Appreciate you, Kwame, making it rain here. Let me see. Kwame says, Sutton, why are you surprised, man? Snoop had a whole presser yesterday. They also had that Zay Flowers video working out before the Bills game on Instagram. I'm not sure what that last sentence is referring to. The Zay Flowers video working out before the Bills game on IG. I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, Snoop did have a presser yesterday. He did talk about how it was good to get so many reps, raise some eyebrows. But I was thinking, hey, look, it's just probably more of a precautionary thing. If you have a superstar MVP quarterback in Lamar Jackson, which the Ravens do, you probably don't need him to fully participate in practice to have confidence that he's ready for a game. You've seen what this guy has done before coming off of injury. He's had some absolutely crazy maniacal performances off of injury. But I'll say this about Tyler Huntley really quick. Tyler Huntley is a quarterback who I do think he raises the floor of this Ravens team. You guys saw what happened at the end of that Rams game, right? Tyler Huntley played pretty much the entire fourth quarter, and in one quarter, he was able to outproduce what Cooper Rush did in 3 quarters, right? Not to mention Cooper Rush had 0 touchdowns, 4 turnovers, 5 credited turnovers, but I'm only really counting 4. The last one was on Zay Flowers, not him. But yeah, it was time. And I tweeted this yesterday. The Cooper Rush signing was awful. God awful signing from the Ravens. To pay Cooper Rush that much money. You know what? I had to go back and listen to episode 302 of the Purple Rain podcast. That was when we reported originally that the Ravens had signed Cooper Rush a couple of months ago in the offseason. And I said, and I had to make sure I wasn't tripping, like gawking over a Cooper Rush signing. I was super indifferent about it because I just knew, like, number one, there's going to be no continuity going from a mobile quarterback in Lamar Jackson to Cooper Rush. And number two, paying him that amount of money when you still have holes that could have been filled on that roster seems like negligence to me. Another super chat donation. Somebody else making it rain here in the chat. Who is that? Let me see. Looks like Kwame again. My guy Kwame again in the chat. Let me see. He says Zay was hurt during the playoffs last season, and they posted this weird video of him working out the day before the game. They always do this. Again. I said it 15 minutes ago. If you're just getting in here, shout out to you. We got almost 200 people watching live right now. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the show. But I said it's like, it doesn't make any sense to make the Bears think that they're preparing for Lamar Jackson just to tell them 24 hours before the game is like, psych, you're not actually preparing for Lamar Jackson. The test isn't even going to be that hard, right? You're just preparing for Lamar Jackson light, which is what Tyler Huntley is. So Bears fans, relax, exhale, take a deep breath. All over Bears Twitter, everybody was saying like, oh, if Lamar plays, we're cooked. They knew it was coming if Lamar Jackson stepped on that field. But for the 3rd game in a row, Lamar Jackson will not play. And we're going to see, and this is post-bye week, post-injury bug, we're going to see firsthand. And now I can't wait, man. I'm bummed, personally. I had to stop watching UFC 321 because I came on here to report for you guys about Lamar Jackson not playing tomorrow. That kind of ruined my weekend. Not coming on here and talking to you guys. I love you guys. You guys know that. But like the fact that Lamar Jackson, we have to go another week, albeit, Thursday is not that far away. We got to go basically another week without Lamar Jackson football. It's criminal. It's criminal. And again, strategically, it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Ryan says it here. And I appreciate your super chat donation again, Kwame. Making it rain here. Appreciate that. Says, if anything, it just makes it easier for the other team. Yeah. Moggs agreeing with me here. I was fine with the rush signing and can still see what they were going for. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to get someone that has a completely different pocket presence than your QB1. This is what I'm saying. And to pay him what? What they paid him, like $12 million? For zero continuity? And Cooper Rush's first game out there, and this is how you know maybe they don't respect Lamar Jackson the way that they need to. When I say they, I mean the Ravens coaching staff. They had Cooper Rush going for it on 4th and 3 while up 3 points. Like he's Lamar Jackson or something. Like he has the same level of creativity and dynamism with his legs and playmaking ability as Lamar Jackson. And what did Cooper Rush do on that play? I'm pretty sure he threw it out of bounds. Threw it away on 4th down. That's your backup quarterback. Jay Jack says, so now if the offense looks like shit, they can say we told you so about Todd Monkin. I don't understand this whole Todd Monkin scapegoat thing. I know he was an external hire. He was at Georgia doing his thing, winning national championships, coordinating that offense. And then he comes to the NFL and he turns up the Ravens offense. You guys remember what Bucky Brooks said a couple of years ago about graduating Lamar Jackson into another system? That was basically what happened. We went from Greg Roman, who was just afraid, quite literally, to open up the passing game of Lamar Jackson. And Todd Monkin unlocked that. Right? And in his first year as offensive coordinator, yes, we went to an AFC championship game. Yes, I understand we only ran the ball 6 times. But Todd Monkin is not the culprit here. He's not the culprit. If that defense goes out there tomorrow and makes Caleb Williams look like Tom Brady, we got to delete these articles, man. Who is writing these articles? Who's fielding these interviews with these anonymous players? Because it's a nasty narrative being painted right now in the Ravens media. A nasty narrative. Listen, I think Todd Monken has struggled in spots as well. But to take the dead last defense in the league and have it be so protected like this, like nothing's really wrong. What are we talking about? Why is he getting scapegoated? And yeah, guys, it's nasty. It's nasty. I don't understand it. I think that this might have been, and getting back to Lamar Jackson here, it might have just been his decision and saying, hey, look, like, I'm not comfortable to come back and play Sunday, especially with the game 4 days later, on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. I think I'll just wait. I'll just wait for that game. Wow. Thea Pennell, what's going on, brother? Says Sutton, come on, let's be honest. This franchise is turning into a joke. They're playing in our faces, guys. Just so you guys know, they are playing all in the Ravens fan base's faces right now. They don't care about us. They string us along all week. Oh yeah, Lamar's practicing. Let's put this out to the media, right? Let's show him running a couple plays on the field and whatnot. Let's show him walking around. Just yesterday, they showed him walking into the locker room or whatever, side by side with Tyler Huntley or whoever it was, and he looked fine. All this propaganda that was put out by Ravens media when they knew all along, you cannot tell me, you cannot convince me that this Ravens coaching staff did not know early in this week that Lamar Jackson was not going to play. But nope. They said, look, what we're going to do is we are going to make it seem like he's going to play. So all the gambling money can come in on the Ravens, right? And Steve Bisciotti says, hey, look, I still want butts in those seats at the bank too. So let's make it look like Lamar Jackson is back. He's in full effect, right? Even the insider reports the week prior to that were all saying, yeah, Lamar Jackson, he's expected to return, things like that. The Ravens fucking knew. They knew. All along. All along. Got my guy Simply AS10 co-host on the show. Hope you're having a good Saturday, brother. Says, happy Saturday. Just a heads up, we probably will lose a draft pick and get fined for the whole full practice to limited thing. Whoa. I didn't know that. What rule states that? Because, I mean, this definitely is like kind of like an unprecedented thing. But when you think about it, though, and it's interesting that this topic is coming up because the whole talk this week has been about, you know, the FBI investigating the sports leagues in terms of like gambling and fudging results and all those things, right? So I'm thinking, since professional sports teams are required to report injury information so frequently, maybe there is a rule that says like, hey, like if you can't change the status of a player 24 hours after you made the status. Like you can't say that he practiced in full yesterday like they put on their injury report on Friday, and then on Saturday actually it was limited. You can't just change it like that. Now losing a draft pick and I can totally see getting fined, but losing a whole draft pick, I didn't know about that one, Alex. I didn't know about that. That would be, it makes sense. It makes sense. But man, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'll say this, guys. I'll say this. I firmly believe now, more than ever before this season, it's over. It's over. Like you might as well. This was the Ravens' last hope. This upcoming game against the Chicago Bears. You have to win this one. You got to win this one in order to stay alive. And the fact that QB1 is not going to be playing in this one, and that gives the Bears a lot more confidence, and it strips some confidence away from the Ravens. Even with the game being at home, I don't really see a path to victory, right? I can see this Ravens team coming out tomorrow and drive stalling early, right? Giving the Bears a chance to get their offense rolling. I can see the Ravens starting off being down 7-0, early Bears touchdown, right? And the Ravens just try to play catch up the entire game. Derrick Henry probably won't get a boatload of carries in this one. I think that, he'll probably get less than 20 carries. I think that's what you're going to see, guys. So, yeah, get those mock drafts fired up. Get them fired up because it's about that season. It's about that season. This team will come out flat. They will come out flat. Nothing that we've seen from this Ravens team this season so far has shown us that they can do anything without Lamar Jackson at quarterback. 6.5 points per game averaged without Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Albeit that was with Cooper Rush at quarterback, and we'll see what Tyler Huntley does. I only think Tyler Huntley, maybe we score 13. Maybe we score 13 if we're lucky. If we're lucky. My pick for this game is officially changing. It's changing. I can't change my pick based off of, the Thursday episode, and, so next week when we do our picks, I'll still have it as if I picked the Ravens. But right here, right now, 24 hours before the game, I'm going Bears. I'm going Bears. Kwame says I had more hope in Cooper Rush. I didn't have hope in Cooper Rush. I had hope that he would, be able to put up more than 6.5 points. I had hope that he would be able to score at least one touchdown over the course of 2 games. Throw for one, run for one, something. But the Ravens collectively only scored 1 touchdown. Bears 34-6, and the 6 is 2 field goals. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, there's no hope in Cooper Rush. Just for no reason, Black Daniels. No reason. Let me read through some of these tweets here. Some of these tweets got me tight earlier. Adam Schefter tweeted, despite practicing Friday, Lamar Jackson just was not ready to play with a hamstring injury that sidelined him 2 previous games, especially with another game on a short week Thursday night in Miami. Man. If you're a Bears fan, you are rejoicing. Now, let's talk about Tyler Huntley for a second here and what he may be able to do. Again, I'm only projecting maybe 13 points. Maybe 13 points. That's like on the high end, to be honest with you, for me. But, again, this Bears secondary is totally demolished right now. 4 of their top cornerbacks are out. 4. So, I'm just saying, Huntley will have some opportunities to throw the ball against some lesser corners. That should bode well for this Ravens offense, who I assume are going to be in a hole. Again, I think that the Bears come out to an early start. The team's going to come out deflated, guys. Let's just, 24 hours is not enough time to mentally refortify the minds of this coaching staff and this roster and the players, right? The personnel, to really like rewire their brain and think like, okay, even though we don't have Lamar Jackson, even though we thought we were going to have him all week leading up to this point, now we don't have him. We're right back where we started. And somebody else has got to make a play. Somebody else has got to step up and make big plays. Everybody was expecting Lamar Jackson to come back into the starting lineup and make those big plays that the Ravens need to sustain drives, put up points, and ultimately win games. Now it's got to be someone else. Will it be Tyler Huntley? Me personally, I don't foresee a Tyler Huntley, 3-4 touchdown game and he throws for 300. That's just not even, I don't even think the Ravens would trust him to do that. Black Daniel says Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy could be playing DB and still shut us down. I mean, you're probably right about that. I was thinking it was going to be a big game for Zay Flowers if Lamar Jackson had came back. It still could be, right? But I literally think that it's over with, guys. I think we're done. I do not see this team being able to. I see you in the chat, season over. Yeah, I don't see this team being able to recover from not having Lamar Jackson for a 3rd straight week. And again, if you lose this game tomorrow, you're 1-6, and you are literally, your season's on life support. It's already on life support right now. But if you lose this game, you can basically pull the plug. You can basically pull the plug on this season. This news that Lamar Jackson will not play, it basically feels like the Ravens are punting on the season. That's what it feels like. So, man, a huge disservice to the fans from the Ravens organization in this one. Much like all season, this has really been an eye-opening season as a Ravens fan. When you think about this front office, this coaching staff, and how they've mismanaged and somehow managed to really just kind of throw this season away. I get the Lamar injury and all that, but even before Lamar's injury, the defense was dead last in the league. And you would think that coming out of a season where you ended that season with the defense being damn good, you wouldn't have those same problems starting off the next season. But we did. And those problems looked even worse, quite frankly. And it led to the Ravens being the dead last defense in the league. Again, if you're Steve Bisciotti or Eric DeCosta, I don't see how you're not looking at the coaching staff sideways. All the talent on this team, which most of that talent is going to play this week. All the talent on this team, Lamar Jackson or not, You should be able to compete. You should be competitive. Hell, if the Vikings can be competitive with Carson Wentz at the helm, right? If the 49ers can be competitive with Mac Jones, why can't we? If that's not an indictment on the coaching staff, I just don't know what is. I have no idea. No clue. I never imagined this season would go this way. But again, guys, got to keep holding out hope, man. It feels like the season's over, right? But hopefully, and this is my only hope, is that the defense can build upon what they did against the Vikings, not the Vikings, but the Rams a couple of weeks ago. And they can shut down Caleb Williams. They can frustrate him. They can turn this into a dogfight. But even then, let's just say it's a 3-point game in either which direction in the fourth quarter. I do not trust this offense without Lamar Jackson to be able to put up a game-winning score, to put together a game-winning drive. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, the Ravens' best bet is hopping on the back of Patrick Ricard and Derrick Henry and hoping and praying that Henry can average over 5 yards a carry like he's been doing this season. You got to hope and pray that he can do that and keep the Ravens on the field and hopefully be able to get into the end zone. Man. Mog says, no, it's not worth hurting our franchise quarterback to bail these coaches out. Hold on, chat's moving. Bail these coaches out. Good call on sitting Lamar. Hell, they started punting by sitting Keaton Mitchell for real. Man. It's a shame, dog. It's a shame. It's a shame, man. I'm of the school of thought, like, hey, look, like, as long as the Ravens are not mathematically eliminated from the playoff contention, I want Lamar Jackson out there playing football. However, if the Ravens lose this game, you might as well shut him down. If I'm Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lose this game against the Bears, I don't want to play the rest of the season. Why? Like, I will milk this hamstring injury for the rest of the season. Why? My contract extension is coming up. That's why. So why would I go out there and play football for this 1-6 team who's not buttoned up anywhere, offensively, defensively, special teams, anywhere? Why would I want to go out there and risk getting hurt again, risk re-aggravating this hamstring injury? Also, you guys can come to me in the offseason and be like, well, you're hurt, so we don't want to give you as much money as we were going to give you, just so you guys can use that against me if I'm Lamar Jackson again. Just so you guys can use that against me in contract negotiations this offseason. Because his cap hit is getting ready to be $75 million. That's way entirely too much. They got to negotiate. They have to extend him. They have to do it. So again, if you're Lamar Jackson, it does not benefit you to go in and play for this 1-6 team who clearly is not making the playoffs. And all you're really doing, if you're Lamar Jackson, is risking injury, number one. And number two, you're elevating this team and you're going to win them a couple of games. And all you're going to do is just make that draft pick plummet. I could see Lamar Jackson coming in and maybe going, 7-3. So that way the Ravens get like a middle of the pack draft pick in the first round. Maybe even a little bit less than that. There's no benefit to him coming back if the Ravens lose tomorrow. So we're all going to be watching this game tomorrow, holding our breath, hoping and praying that Tyler Huntley can keep the season alive. That's what it's come down to. 8 weeks into the year, guys. In a year where we came into the season thinking, hey, look, like, we don't care about the regular season. Like, we just want to get back to January. right? So we can kind of right these wrongs and dispel these demons that have been cast upon us over the past half a decade. Well, damn near a decade at this point. But now here you are, you find yourself in week 8, 1-5, getting ready to play another game without Lamar Jackson, staring down 1-6 if you can't beat the Chicago Bears, who again, riding high right now on a 4-game win streak. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams seem to be getting a little bit more, comfortable with each other. They're very turnover reliant in Chicago, much like the Steelers are. So, I mean, Tyler Huntley, again, keys to victory kind of going to shift here. Got to protect the football. If the Ravens want any chance of winning this game, you can't turn the football over. Like, you have to have 0 turnovers, right? In order to win this, you have to play literal mistake-free football. With Lamar Jackson, you can afford maybe an interception or a fumble here or there, right? Because you have faith that Lamar Jackson is going to be able to make up for that with offensive production. With a Tyler Huntley-led offense, as much as I prefer a Huntley-led offense over a Cooper Rush-led offense, the ceiling is only but that much higher with Huntley. Let's just be real. And I like what I saw from Huntley in the last game against the Rams. And again, also, the Bears pass rush, garbage. So the opportunities will be there, but I'm telling you, be prepared. Be prepared for just some sort of miscue on offense, whether that be a fumble by a running back, whether that be a bad and ill-timed pick by Hunt. Just be prepared. That moment is coming tomorrow. And I don't mean to sound all doom and gloom and, I'm very reactionary. This is a knee-jerk reaction, of course, to me finding out that Lamar Jackson won't play. But I think what I'm saying is true here, guys. Just being a realist right here. Being a realist Ravens fan. Chaos says, be prepared for fall down for Laley to fall down. More than likely. Yeah, and again, Todd Monkin said earlier this week he doesn't see any personnel changes happening. But who knows? I mean, at this point, the Ravens could be lying about anything and everything. Maybe they will come out with a different pair of guards tomorrow. Maybe. But according to what Todd Monkin said, if I'm taking for what he said for face value, right? It's going to be the same offensive line. And if it's the same offensive line that had even Lamar Jackson back there with happy feet, imagine what's going to happen to Tyler Huntley. And again, I know Bears pass rush is not good, but I think that this offensive line can make them look like the Monstars tomorrow, and more than likely will. So it's really going to come all down to, can Derrick Henry carry these Ravens? And can he carry them into the end zone? Because now more than ever, early in the year, Derrick Henry was popping off big runs for big touchdowns, right? Quick scoring drives, things like that. And at the time, it felt like, damn, Derrick, like we love the fact that you're scoring touchdowns, but like slow down a little bit. We got to stay on the field, right? The points are going to come regardless. We got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Now, it's like we need all the points we can muster. So if we can get some big Derrick Henry runs for like a big touchdown and really swing momentum towards the Ravens side, that would be huge. That would be everything. But if Henry, I'm telling you guys right now, if Derrick Henry goes out there and on the first couple Ravens drives, the Bears are doing a decent job of shutting him down, then you turn to Tyler Huntley and tell him, hey, look, Huntley, season is on the line. Go win us a game. Ravens haven't had to do that since the 2022 playoffs, when they asked Tyler Huntley to go out there and beat the Cincinnati Bengals, which he almost did. He almost did. Let us not forget. So Huntley's got a little bit of juice, right? But all it's going to take is that one mistake, that one turnover, that one big play for this Bears defense. If they turn the Ravens over, it's over. That's it. You can literally chalk the game right then and there. I'm telling you guys, if the Ravens turn the football over at any point, they're not going to win. It's a game of possessions. Who has the most possessions? Who has the football last? That sort of thing. The Ravens have already struggled with that this season so far. They've won the time of possession battle one time this season. One time. And that was against the Rams a couple of weeks ago. And they still lost that game, by the way. But yeah, you can't afford any turnovers. No mistakes. You got to play mistake-free football, and you have to win. Guys, this is disheartening. Kogan says, if I'm Lamar and 77 and 72 are still out there, then my hamstring is still acting up. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, bro. This is man. Again, this is kind of like an impromptu live stream. I didn't plan on going live today, guys, but I had to hop on here and talk to you guys about this news because, I mean, with no Lamar Jackson, you can completely change your expectations for tomorrow's game against the Chicago Bears. And maybe you're just listening to this right before the game started. If you're part of the hashtag replay gang, make sure you like the video, leave that down below in the comments, hashtag replay gang. However, I mean, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good right now. Because now we're asking Tyler Huntley out there and basically play perfect and save the season. And who's to say Lamar Jackson doesn't even play against the Dolphins? I mean, it's only 4 days between the Bears game and the Dolphins game. And I get you probably don't want him coming off of a hamstring injury to play 2 games in 4 days. Sure, whatever. But if he's not 100%, especially if the Ravens go out there and they shit the bed against the Bears tomorrow, if I'm Lamar, just like Kogan said, if I'm Lamar, I'm still saying, like, hey, look, hamstring is not there yet, bro. I'm going to pull a Pat Ricard. Remember how Ricard was out for the first, 2 months? You know? And if Harbaugh has to stay constantly for the next couple of weeks even, hey, look, it's up to Lamar. It's up to Lamar and how he's feeling. And if I'm Lamar, I'm like, no. I'm going to keep letting you, John Harbaugh, go out there and drown on your own. See if you can float without me. And if that doesn't wake up Steve Bisciotti, if that doesn't open his eyes, Harbaugh said it himself, like, I'm relying so heavily, psychologically, right? If I was talking to a shrink right now, I'd be telling him how much I'm waiting for and depending on Lamar Jackson to get back and fix my team and save my job. Well, before you had the excuse of, oh, Lamar's out, Roquan's out, Marlon Humphrey's out, Kyle Hamilton. Now you got all those guys healthy. Only one you don't have is Lamar Jackson. Harbaugh, will your team put up more than 10 points? Period. That's the question right there. Can you put up 10 points? Hell, can you put up 20? I'll be so impressed if the Ravens put up 20 points tomorrow. I will be just floored. I won't be surprised if they drop less than 10. But if they do drop less than 10, and this team looks really bad when they're at 90% health, I think the media is you're going to have the media really, really get after John Harbaugh. Yeah. If the Ravens come out and they look flat and they look like, again, just not competitive coming out of their bye, you will see the media start to hound John Harbaugh a little bit more. Got another super chat donation coming in. This one's coming from Eli Sports Guy. Appreciate you, Eli, making it rain here in this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. As part of the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Eli says the super team narrative changed really quick. Yeah, didn't it? Didn't it? Because now you quite literally have 95% of that super team available. You know, minus Madubuike and minus Lamar Jackson, which are 2 huge names, of course. You got most of those guys. You still got Derrick Henry, right? You still got Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins. You got all those guys, right? Kyle Van Noy. I mean, the list goes on, right? You got a rookie kicker who's even doing his thing. So Harbaugh, I'm looking at you. You still have the majority of your super team. You just don't have your super quarterback right now. So what your team and how your team performs when your super quarterback is not playing, we're going to have a 3-game sample size now. And if they come out of this game still averaging 6.5 points or less, it's time to have a conversation. And if you're not having a conversation, and when I say you're, I'm talking about Ravens front office, upper management, Steve Bisciotti, ownership. If you're not having a conversation, you don't want to win. It's just as simple as that. Because guess what? One day Lamar Jackson's going to have to retire, or he's going to move on. He's going to request a trade, whatever. Then how much confidence do you have, Steve Bisciotti, in your man, John Harbaugh, who you hired 18 years ago? How much confidence do you have then that he can turn the ship around? Then who do you want to win the Super Bowl for, right? Is it still going to be John Harbaugh when it feels like his teams are carrying him and not the other way around? Conversations are going to need to be had. But yeah, guys, fire up those mock drafts. Fire up those mock drafts. Best roster in the NFL, right? Best roster in the NFL can only put up 6 points a game. Best roster in the NFL without their quarterback is only going to put up 6 points. If you drop less than 13 damn points and you lose the game, which if you drop 13, you're probably going to lose. Conversations need to be had. Lamar Jackson needs to assess the situation himself and say, whoa, wait a minute. Again, like I said before, I'm going into a contract negotiation this offseason. The team is 1-6. What do I have to play for? Right? To potentially get hurt just for you guys to try to lowball me on an extension? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wow. Kwame says, I'm going to remind you of this after we win on Sunday. Hey, look, I'll be live. Yeah, I'll be live. So you can come in and you can throw the egg on my face, whatever you want to do, Kwame. And I'll accept that. Because I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong so bad right now. But nothing within the history of this season specifically has given me any other reason to believe that this Ravens team is capable of going out there and looking like the Ravens are supposed to without Lamar Jackson. This is an eye-opening season, bro. This is an eye-opening season for everybody, not even just Ravens fans. And I'm actually kind of glad in a way that this news came out at an isolated time, not like right before kickoff, because it would kind of get lost in the news cycle of everybody getting ready to play a game. This happened 24 hours before kickoff, right? 24 hours from this very moment, the Ravens will be on the field. So the entire national sports media knows about this. And the entire national sports media knew that the Ravens were favored to win by -7.5. They were favored to win by 7.5 points when it was thought that Lamar Jackson was going to play. Again, I'm glad that this news is coming out now because it'll make it look so much worse on John Harbaugh and the entire coaching staff if the Ravens go out there and lay another egg without Lamar Jackson. Just for Lamar Jackson to come back, supposedly at least, right, on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. And if he lights it up against the Dolphins after the Ravens dropped another stinker against the Bears, it's like, come on. It's obvious. It's clear as day. And guess what? You'll still have people in the national media still saying, oh, John Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame level coach. You know, if not him, then who? That's what everybody loves to say. A lot of these guys on Twitter, a lot of these guys in the national media, even local guys as well, they love to say, oh, if not John Harbaugh, who are the Ravens going to have at head coach? Well, anything is better than a coach who literally, without his starting quarterback, can't even make his team look like a professional team. Anything is better than a head coach who literally makes the same face on the sideline every time his team is getting blown out. Every time he doesn't have answers to what's going on in the game, Look at his face. His face will tell you everything. You guys know what face I'm talking about. Kwame says, when have you ever heard the starter playing after not interviewing? The only thing that pissed me off is the full practice shit. Fair. Fine. I mean, I get it. Like, he didn't interview before the game. You would expect him to do that if the Ravens expected him to play. But, I mean, again, you could have announced this days ago. You could have announced it days ago that he wasn't going to play. I don't really see, again, I don't see the strategic advantage. I don't see the strategic advantage at all of making it seem like you're going to give the Bears a really tough challenge, right? A tough test. Again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, you made it seem like originally you were going to give them the calculus test with Lamar Jackson starting at quarterback. Just to tell them 24 hours before the test, hey, look, it's not going to be calculus. It's going to be 6th grade algebra. And Tyler Huntley. Much easier. Huge sigh of relief. If you're the Bears fan base, if you're the Bears coaching staff, if you're the Bears players, you just instilled hella confidence. I mean, I would have rather them had it the other way around instead of the beginning of the week, right? Lamar Jackson, probably not going to play. Yes, he's back at practice, but Harbaugh could have just got up there and said, you know, we'll probably sit him another week, right? And then Sunday comes around, and it's like, oh, surprise, surprise, Lamar's active. Now, that would have been something. That would have been a strategic advantage. But this, it makes no fucking sense. Makes no fucking sense. At all. At all. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, guys. Again, talked about a good deal on this one. Lamar Jackson will not play against the Chicago Bears. If you're just tuning in, he's supposed to come back against the Miami Dolphins, although now I have zero idea what to believe when it comes to this Ravens team. We've been hearing lies all week, to be honest with you. You know, so, and then on top of that, you've got what I think might be lies about players slandering Todd Monkin, but literally no smoke at all for Zach Orr, who has the dead last ranked defense in the league. Alex says you got some UFC to watch. I just missed an insane KO. Damn. Yeah, man. Duty calls. I had to hop on here and give the fans something to talk about. I mean, to listen to, because I just, this was going to be on my mind the entire UFC card, and I think that the main card is getting ready to start in a few minutes. So I think I'm good on timing. I do still have Tom Aspinall winning today. I'll drop a reaction video after that fight as well. But again, appreciate you guys so much for coming through to this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. I am your host, Sutton Def. You're listening to the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure you go ahead and like this video. Also, do not forget, please subscribe to our channel as well here at PRP if you're watching on X, which I know a lot of you are. Make sure you open your YouTube app on your phone, type in Purple Rain Podcast. Rain is spelled R-E-I-G-N. And give us a follow on there too. We'd appreciate it. We're going to be live again, of course, me and Alex Monday, reacting to this Bears game. I don't know how that one's going to go. Just saying right now, I can't wait to hear what Alex feels about this whole Lamar Jackson practicing, then not practicing, then changing the practice. That whole fiasco. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about that. So Alex, if you're listening still, appreciate you, and I'll see you on Monday, because that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. But yeah, guys, until next time, you guys be easy, stay positive, always test negative, and never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.